All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. This is episode number 34. Today is July 5th, Sunday afternoon in El Paso, Texas. It is approximately 6:19 in the p.m. It's an extremely hot day outside, guys. So just so you're aware of that.
It's
today,
horrible.
Today, as you can already hear him, we are joined by our co-host, Misa. Say what's up.
Hey, what's up, guys? What it do?
Also, guys, as always, today, producer of the podcast, Lena is with us. Say what's up, Lena.
Hi, hello.
And also, guys, joining us on episode 34 of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast, is a very special friend of the podcast. Her name is Miss Krysta Ayers. Go ahead and say what's up to the podcast, Krysta.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Krysta.
Hello.
So,
how are you?
Krysta, you're joining us from where? Tell us where you're joining us from today.
I am joining y'all from Austin right now. North of Austin.
Nice. So this is our second person that we've had on the podcast that is coming to us from Austin, Texas. So, Krysta, we're gonna have you introduce yourself to the podcast. Just tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I moved to Austin 2 years ago, actually, almost to the date. I come from a writing background. I used to work at a magazine in El Paso and moved over here kind of spontaneously.
How cool.
And I've been doing work for a small marketing agency here where I do product placement for different TV films and shows.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it right now.
An adult job.
Adult job, finally.
Finally,
Yeah.
right? It's all coming together finally.
Finally.
I guess it takes to leave El Paso to find one, huh, dude?
That's, I guess, what we have to do, right? Maybe
Yeah,
if
dude,
we actually left El Paso, we would find some success in our life.
Something
I don't
good.
think that's true, but I think if you want to get paid well enough, you have to leave El Paso.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good. Hey, babe, pack your shit.
We moving.
We gotta go. Okay, so first off, Chris, I want to thank you for being on the podcast with us. We do really appreciate anybody who comes on here and spends some time with us. So shout out to you for that. Round of applause.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we were talking a little bit pre-show before we started this. You said you listened to the podcast a little bit. Can you give us any thoughts on the podcast that you might have?
I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, actually. I have my main crime and history stories that I listen to. So I don't have any feedback on that end, but I do love seeing that there's new podcasts coming out of El Paso and Canofio. I have one other friend that does one as well. So
Yes.
I do love that, and I do love that it's produced very well as comes all together. So yeah,
Nice.
kudos to you guys.
Yeah, we
thank you.
have a lot of people that like to just support the fact that we're from El Paso and we're trying to create our own little niche here. And so like I said, shout out to you for being on. Misa's the one that actually reached out to you. How do you guys? We'll get into this a little bit, but how do you guys know each other?
We went to elementary together. I think I was only there, and we only were there for 2 years.
Yeah, I honestly only remember you the whole sixth grade year.
Sixth grade, yeah.
Sixth grade year out there. But yeah, we still kept in touch here and there. I ran into her every now and then, random parties.
Yeah, random parties, random. I mean, El Paso's pretty small, so.
Dude, but don't you get that a lot, Chris? It's like you run into people at random ass parties. And then 10 years later, it's like, oh, dude, remember that one sick ass party we ran into?
That's the only place people run into El Paso. Oh yeah, you were at a random ass party one time, right? And then everyone's like, yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
I was there. Yeah, I was there.
That's what we hear from everybody, how they know each other, or how when I would go to parties with other people, they always know other people. It's a small town here too, somewhat.
It's such a small town, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just that, dude. But I lived in Vinton. Bill Childress is right next to Vinton. It's out there, and Vinton's even till right now, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
So So it was a close little thing there in that elementary school. Everybody ended up going to Canutillo, most of those people.
Yeah.
Sorry, real fast. That whole area is like a small little pocket of the West Side, like its own little secluded area. You know what I mean?
Our families know each other from like way back when also, though.
Yeah.
Like my grandma knew his parents, my mom knew his parents.
That's crazy.
Small town.
Hey, Misa, so she's probably like one of our cousins.
Yeah, she's probably somehow a distant cousin of yours, Chris.
Like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of family over in Canutillo, and I'll run into a gas station out there, and they used to call him my uncle's Moose. They'd be like, "Hey, you're Moose's son, right?"
Oh my gosh.
Well, which one? You know, there's like 12 of them. You know,
there's a lot of us.
That's what's up.
Yeah, dude.
Let's officially kick off this podcast, guys. We have a tradition that is unlike any other on this podcast. We have to crack open this celebratory beer in order to properly start off another episode of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast.
I'll pretend to open mine again.
Someone started early.
Right.
Thank you for everybody who's been listening to the podcast. Make sure you guys go follow us on Facebook, like our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, and on Apple Podcasts, guys. You can leave us a rating and a review as well. We would greatly appreciate that. What we're going to do now is get into the Kicking Things Off segment. In this segment, we go around the virtual Zoom meeting here, and everybody's going to kind of just tell us a little bit about what's new with them. Let's make this a 4th of July themed Kicking Things Off segment since 4th of July was yesterday. Maybe we can start off and say a little bit of how we celebrated the 4th of July. So I'll go ahead and start. One of the big things to do in El Paso, if you're not from El Paso, if you've never been here, a lot of people take to the desert on 4th of July to, partake in the celebration of fireworks and bonfires and heavy, heavy drinking. That's definitely what goes on. So
that's probably like the main thing right there.
That's like the main thing that goes down in El Paso because you can't really pop fireworks in the neighborhood, so you flock to the outskirts. So that's what we did yesterday. It was pretty cool. Shot some fireworks off. Came home smelling like sulfur, so that was great.
Perfect.
So that's what's new with me, guys. Misa, what's new with you, dude?
Really nothing. Like you said yesterday, being 4th of July. Dude, I noticed something, man. When I was younger, living out there in Vinton, being in the middle of the desert, you see a lot of people pop fireworks. But now that I live over here with the West Side, where I could actually see my neighbors, dude, I don't know what type of fireworks people buy and stuff, but they don't even sound like fireworks. They sound like a fucking grenade going off, dude. It's like midnight.
More powerful.
Oh, Misa froze. Hold on, let's see. Hopefully he'll buffer back in. look at the way he froze.
I know. Oh, shit. I need it.
Just mid-sentence.
Okay, I'm going to take a couple pictures. That way, if you would like to be prepared.
Okay.
Did he unfreeze?
He
unfroze.
Sorry, guys.
So,
okay? Yeah.
Go ahead and reset, Misa. Say what you were saying about the fireworks sounding like grenades again.
Dude, yeah. Like I said, they started this shit all late as well. And it's like my next door neighbors, and it was just kind of scary, dude. And I was trying to fall asleep, and then I'd have like Vietnam flashbacks and shit like that, like
whoa.
Back from when we were in the war.
Yeah,
dude, I had to sleep with my helmet on and shit.
That's funny. Krysta, what's new with you? How did you celebrate celebrate 4th of July yesterday?
I had a chill 4th of July because we are in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
I ate some tacos, had Tecate, and then I watched.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
People would be able to tell right away that you're from El Paso.
I know.
Look at that El Paso.
She had the double T's, tacos and Tecates.
It's 4th of July. You're supposed to be eating burgers and steaks.
Not
today, not this year.
Lena, what about you? Obviously, we did the same thing, but can you just speak a little?
Yeah, we just spent some time with family, kept it small because again, it is a pandemic and it's one of those things where it makes you nervous being around people. So thankfully where we wasn't where there was tons of people and I'm just worried safety, but it was fun, it's always good to see the fireworks, and it's good to be together. So we were glad to be with people that we loved. And we were home pretty early too. It wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah,
but
we didn't want to be too, want to be somewhat responsible, like.
So, are you guys fans of fireworks, or like or you guys could just care less about it? Like, how do you guys feel about fireworks in general?
I'm kind of indifferent. I don't really care. I do have a dog though, so like she gets pretty scared. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I can actually see your dog in the zoo.
Oh, her ears, yeah.
I just saw her.
That's
Charlie.
Up.
Special guest, a dog.
We have
The
another
first dog on the podcast.
Oh, yay, Charlie.
Charlie,
Charlie.
on the ground.
Charlie, my dog.
Cool.
So you're not. You said you're kind of indifferent on the fireworks. You're not like a huge fan, right?
Yeah, they're cool to look at, I guess, but I'm not like rushing to see them or like super excited about it usually.
Yeah.
True. Misa, what about you? You a big firework fan? You don't look like a firework guy.
No, you know what? But now that I have kids, I mean, this year, because of the
That's
pandemic, we didn't really go out or do anything. But yeah, maybe next year I'll go all out just to show my kids. Because I remember when I was younger, I'd be like so surprised with the what are they called? The bottle rockets?
Bottle rockets. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are illegal now. But yeah, that's back in the day.
Like Roman candles, dude, like shooting at each other and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know how my mom let us do all that.
What about you, Len? Are you like a firework person or not really?
Well, so like a couple years ago, I went to Moriarty, and me and my folks worked like a fireworks stand essentially, and it's like crazy, like how many different kinds there are. How like different. Like I only remember sparklers when I was younger, so it's like crazy to see the different variety and what they do and how many shots and the colors, and I think they're cool, but I don't think they're a necessity. And I do feel for animals because it's like that's pretty excruciating, like they can't help it, you know what I mean? And then you also think of other things, like for me I think of like people who suffer from PTSD who really do have gone to war and stuff like that, so it's like they're beautiful to look at, but there's always a negative to everything.
Hey, you know which ones I used to hate the most? I used to like not remember which ones was like smoke bombs were.
Yeah,
because there was
circle ones.
Yeah, there were some other ones where like they look the same, but they'll just pop and make all this noise.
Crack.
I remember trying to like pop one like in my porch when I was younger, and the wind was blowing, and it was a smoke bomb, and all this smoke started going into my crib, dude. I got in the biggest trouble ever.
Like when you burn
my mom thought the whole house was on fire and shit. So that didn't end well.
So you know what I've noticed, because I'm sure you guys have seen this on the internet, like people popping fireworks like all across the country, like at the worst times, like at night and things. But you know what I thought was just an El Paso thing, like having the Roman candle wars where you're just shooting them at each other. Like I thought that was just El Paso, but then I saw like all over the place they're like going to town, like
some
shooting.
Harry Potter shit.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, did you guys see that fireworks stand that caught fire?
Yeah.
In El Paso?
So do you know
Wait,
that actually?
what?
Yeah. So let's tell you about that, Krysta. And I don't know if you saw this, but this shit made like ABC World News. It did, dude.
No.
Essentially, what happened right where you guys are from in Gano Theo, like right off Donovan, where that True Value hardware store is or whatever. I don't know how the fireworks stand caught on fire, but the whole goddamn fireworks stand like was set ablaze, and that shit was going off, dude. Like it was crazy. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But you didn't. I heard it was for like a church or something like that. Like some church was trying to raise money or something,
and they
by
blew
selling
up
fireworks. And
okay, so they blew up a fireworks stand to raise money.
Hey man, they had a fire sale, dude.
So you didn't see video of that, Krysta, at all?
No.
Hey, Krista's done with El Paso. Krista's done with El Paso. She's like, I got my tacos and my Tecate. I'm good. I'm out.
So what I would suggest to you, Krysta, and to anybody in our audience, anyone listening who hasn't seen the video, simply go onto YouTube and put fireworks stand fire, and it's like the first thing that pops up. We just did this about 4 hours ago right here with my friend to show him. So go check that out. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, fucking, you know how people are with fireworks, blowing off their hands and shit and blowing up each other and each other's houses. Like, it's crazy. I like fireworks because like nostalgically, like Misa said, like when I was little, they would take us to go pop them and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But I think they're really expensive, and they're kind of a waste of money now that once you have to be the one that has to buy.
That buys them, yeah.
Yeah, and so we were really lucky that Krista's uncle, they do that stuff. That's a tradition that they do. So we got to join them. So we didn't even buy fireworks. Like we didn't have the intention of going out, but it's one of those things that it's like you think later down the line, like your kids, okay, so you're gonna buy them for your kids and such,
See, like now being an adult and having kids, like having to go buy them, like
yeah,
you're like, God,
like dude, I'm thinking like if I'm gonna light one up, it's like, phew, there goes $50.
Right?
Man, $30. That's it, kids. That's all we got.
Done. Yeah.
We're on a budget here.
Every little explosion that you hear going off in the background, it's like, bing, $5. Bing.
Yep.
Counting
Oh,
up.
that's what $30 looks like.
Yeah. When it pops all crazy, you're like,
Yeah.
$45.
That was-
You have
Yeah.
like $300 worth of fireworks that's gonna end like in 10 minutes.
And the thing too is
Yeah.
they're not really ecological, like it creates a lot of trash, and it's like, holy fuck, like it's quick,
Yeah.
it's quick, you got to clean it up, and it costs a lot of money.
Well,
it really isn't efficient.
Let me just update you on that. It's 2020. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Global warming is real. Like fireworks are not causing warming.
I missed the memo, my bad.
All right.
Yeah. Lena was still thinking of the turtles, dude. Remember?
The God-
Concerned.
Okay, so let's keep this podcast moving. If you can, Krysta, can you tell me like your earliest memory of this guy, Misa, over here? Like the first thing that you can remember about this dude.
Nobody does, dude.
Nobody does because you're not a memorable person.
Because we try to forget, we try to forget.
We tried, like hard, especially when you're coming from Bill Childress, dude.
Yeah, we try to forget our whole childhood from there.
Benton, where is that?
Well, I'm not from Benton. I didn't go that far.
Because Alcanotio is one thing, but Benton's another.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the same, dude. It's like right next to each other.
It's not. It's on the other side of the school. If you're on the other side of the school, you're like...
It's like being on the other side of the border for me. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
It's like there was like those one kids on one side, and then it was me and like a handful of Benton kids.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even... I feel like you used to call my house a lot, and we would like talk on the phone a lot.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
He's
What's
like,
up? I
hey.
remember.
Hey.
Yeah.
I remember.
Did you
that.
pass your math test? Because I did it.
Exactly.
Well, because I remember that's how my grandma found out that I would go to school with you, and she'd be like, "Hi, Mika, I know his mom, and I know his family."
Well, okay. Well, a small thing, dude. Me and Krysta were like boyfriend girlfriend back like in like 6th grade. Like for
like
very
whatever
little.
you can be for
Whatever, like whatever you could do, whatever you consider a boyfriend girlfriend
Just
back
skip,
then.
just a little one.
I have a question for you, Misa. Did you ever write her like one of those notes in class and like give it to her friend and be like, "Here"?
I wrote a lot.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. I never had her for a class that I could remember.
So then, you
Yeah,
guys just
I was they like secluded me with just Mexican kids, like kids that look like me.
naturally,
Like yeah, put them in that class.
Okay, and then so you guys would just hang out at school, and then like you guys, because of your family ties, would talk to each other like after the fact or what?
Honestly, I didn't even know.
Like I didn't
my
even know who
parents
she
knew
was.
your parents. Yeah, like when I called, I just called to talk to her, and this was after like 6th grade because after 6th grade I moved away, so the only way to keep in touch was to call. So
Oh my god, yeah.
That makes
True. That's what's up. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because like if you're like we dated when we were in 6th grade, but like what is dating really in 6th grade? Like,
yeah.
It's I'll tell you one thing. It's just like holding hands like throughout the whole lunchtime was like the whole thing.
Yeah, or
It's stressful.
or walking to the buses.
Yeah, or walking to the buses together, saying bye. But that's about it, And I remember like being outside, holding her hand, being around her friends. I'm like, dude, I really need to go to the restroom right now. But if I let go of her hand, she might think I'm gonna break up with her, like like little things like that, dude.
First world
Oh my
problem.
god.
Yeah.
hilarious, man.
6th grade, man. Elementary school.
And then if you guys don't mind me asking, what made you guys break up?
Yeah, what was the divide?
You know what? I was thinking about it the other day. I don't remember. I think it was just from one day to the next. We stopped calling each other. Like
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you-
did ghosting before ghosting was a thing.
Yeah,
no.
Ahead
Hey,
of
to
time.
start off with, I remember always being the one to call. She never called me.
Oh, shit. It all
Ooh.
comes
Of course.
out.
You see?
Of course.
So I remember. Okay, so I think that's the thing. I was probably like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for her to call me, and then
You never did.
it never happened. 10 years later, I ran into her at a
party.
and I was all like, "Hey, you never called me back." She's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Oh,
Like, wait, let me try to remember who you are real quick.
That's funny, dude.
She looks like one of the Mexican kids from Bill Childress.
So,
Mhm.
so you guys like literally haven't like seen each other in like a long time, right?
No, really, but this is probably the most we've conversated since like 6th grade, probably.
So we have a theme on this podcast where a
real
lot of the
time.
people that come on, like we haven't talked to them in like multiple years, like 10 plus years.
Oh my god.
And it's kind of cool though, because like, for example, this is a perfect example. You guys haven't talked in like such a long time. I literally met you like 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean? But it's cool because we can all come on here and still like have a good time and like and like it's genuine. You know what I mean? So that's fascinating to me in a way.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool. So one thing I noticed, I mean, after doing like 5 or 6 episodes with you, I've noticed too, it's like every single time we start an episode, it's like, bro, I haven't seen you in 10 years. I haven't seen you in 8 years, you know? But at the same time, it creates friendships. It gets you back in contact with old friends and stuff like that, which in my opinion is pretty cool. Especially now that you're older, you kind of wonder what happened to them.
It's so much cooler to connect now too, if you think about it, because we're not as limited as we were when we were in 6th grade. So it's like this connectivity is a whole other level. So we get to enjoy it, like the technology advancement.
That's true. Yeah. It's almost better too because you really don't know what's been going on in their lives for so many years. And whereas you get someone that you've been talking to every day,
Yeah.
I think it's maybe more awkward or more like, okay, let's pretend that I don't know all of these things about you.
I don't know all the things I'm gonna ask. In this situation, like literally any question we ask you is because we really do not know. So
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier in the podcast that you're living in Austin now. To me, it seems just right off the bat that you like it over there. Are there a few things that you like about Austin better than El Paso, or what makes you like want to be there instead of being here?
I mean, definitely the job advancements here. It is way easier to find a job and to make more money in any field than I would in El Paso. And then like outdoor activities are really good over here, are really great. And then, you know, pre-COVID, when everything's open, there's just so much to do and see,
Right.
which is a lot better. I will say that food-wise and people-wise, El Paso is better. And it might always be.
Nice.
Okay.
Is there a lot of rude people out there or what?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because we're all coming into town from somewhere different. Like a lot of people that I've met aren't even from Austin.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if it's because it's just a lot of imported people into the city. But yeah, no one's as friendly as El Paso.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's like as hospitable and as friendly and genuinely friendly as people from El Paso.
I would agree.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, definitely, because I lived in Austin for like a week before I get kicked out of my internship that we were in. Story the podcast that we could tell, but essentially, yeah, me and a few of my friends, we got this internship when we were underage. Under the drinking age.
Okay.
I made that sound terrible. I made that sound so bad.
Minors.
I know.
So we were like 19, 20 years old, and we moved to Austin for an internship, and we got kicked out the first week for drinking. But anyway,
Oh my gosh.
but I've spent some other time in Austin. I've been like in the Round Rock area too. So, but to me, it seems like the community is really it's a real transient community. People come to Austin from different parts of the country, different parts of Texas, different parts of the region.
Yeah.
But that's, to me, I guess that's why you don't see the hospitality that you do see in El Paso, because everybody like grows up and is born and raised here.
Right. Yeah.
So why Austin? Like, what gravitated you to that was the final place?
So I went to school for 2 years at UTSA, And my best friend from college is from here. And so during the weekends, we would come up to Austin, stay with her parents, drive back to school by Monday. So I kind of just fell in love with the city. I also am a huge person that will like go to shows all the time, go to live shows, whether it's like music or comedy. And Austin is saturated in that. So yeah, it was kind of perfect.
So cool.
Yeah,
We got to move our podcast out there, bro.
Yeah, well, we got to do a lot of things with the podcast. I actually did a show, a rap show. I used to want to be a rapper, like circa 6 years. I did a rap show in Austin, but it wasn't like, you know how you're going up. What's the main freeway in Austin? I forgot. I-25.
35?
I-35, yeah.
Yeah.
The left side is like the nice downtown part of Austin, and the right exits are like the kind of more shady places.
Yeah.
Well, the place we did the show at was on the right side of the freeway, so that went. But anyway, it's really cool down there. I really like it. You mentioned that you had worked for a magazine company here in El Paso, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I can say a little bit.
Yeah. Don't close anything that you can't. We understand that, but
is that what you got did you get a degree in that, or how did you end up in that?
Ish. I did creative writing. That's what I ended up getting my bachelor's in.
Nice.
And so during my like last semester of college, I reached out to all the local magazines, and there's not a lot really. There's maybe like 2 now. But I kind of wanted to do an internship, and it wasn't something that I saw a lot in El Paso, especially within that field. So I kind of just gave them a cold email, said, hey, if you need an intern, I will intern. Got hired there and ended up working there for 3 years.
Cool.
Nice.
Eventually like worked up to being the CEO and the co-manager, or the managing editor's assistant, and then like laying out the magazine and getting to interview a lot of cool people around the city, which was my like favorite thing to do. I got to meet a lot of artists, a lot of local and like painters or like muralists and musical artists too. So
you're like completely immersed.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing. You like really get to learn the city once you start writing about it and interviewing different people from all the different pockets in El Paso as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow,
Go ahead.
what's your favorite interviewer?
Probably Khalid.
Nice.
Just because he like blew up after that.
No, I'm a big lead fan for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
We saw him at Neon Desert. I think like 3 years ago.
Oh my god, yeah, that was.
It was so cool.
But I definitely I definitely fuck with his music. Like I remember the day that his like debut album came out. We were driving to Moyarty, and I was like, which is in New Mexico. I was bumping that shit so hard. It was so dope.
It's so good. Yeah, he did great.
And was this before he blew up?
Yeah. I was able to get an interview when he like first moved to Los Angeles to start recording that album.
Yeah.
But I didn't learn that it was that album that he was recording because he obviously couldn't tell me anything. And then a couple months later, that album came out.
Yeah,
wow, that's awesome.
Everything for him, for real. Because he literally like not only is he like a success like from El Paso or from the US, like he's a world renowned artist at this point. Like people all over the world know who this guy is, you know?
Yeah.
And that really to me it tells me something about your musicianship where you can translate to the whole world instead of just your region or your country.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in that interview that you did with him, how was it? Like was it cool? Like what was the vibe like?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah. So I had to do a call because he was in LA. And I had to go through his managers, but I think since he was like starting out, they weren't really like, what's going on? What do you mean a magazine in El Paso? It was actually very hard to get a hold of him. Once I did, the video was really cool. He was so sweet. He was so nice.
Right on.
Yeah, just like super genuine in his answers. You could tell that he loved music and that he was very passionate about what he wanted to do and what he wanted to accomplish with it.
That's so cool.
Comes from a musical background, and like being from the Army, like being an Army child of the Army, like that too was something that really like amplified his ability to push out his music and like to make friends and be able to do what he did early on in his career.
Dude, that's so cool to say that. Like, I interviewed Khalid before he like blew up, like right when it was like the start. It's like because of me, he blew up.
Because it was, you know what? If I hadn't have written that article,
I know, right? He'd be probably on this podcast trying to get a job.
But that's the really cool thing is like you're living a career and you're living a life where you're doing things that maybe 10 years ago you're like, I don't think not that you couldn't do it, but you just don't think about it, and now you're living it. You know what I mean? You like it, you're into music, you're passionate about it, but when you're writing about artists like Khalid, that's a totally different aspect.
Yeah. I mean, it was really cool. I mean, the people that I got to meet were awesome, and that's why I'm still so passionate about El Paso, and why I do still hate when people like take digs at it.
I get mad when I say El Paso sucks. It's like, dude, why did I say that?
I mean, I used to be one of those people. I like left as soon as I graduated high school. I was like, bye. But then you look back and it's like, no, the city's great. I mean, it's growing. It's slow to grow, but at the same time, you like want to see it succeed, and there's so much talent there.
Definitely.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed, and it's not just in like the music industry or people who create like art or write books or produce film. There's so much creativity in El Paso. It's just it kind of gets overshadowed in a way because nobody really thinks of El Paso as this hotbed for creativity. But there is a lot of talent here.
It's because we're our own world. Yeah, kind of. Sometimes.
Yeah, because
that's what I feel.
I'll give you a perfect example, and this is something I told Misa one time. I had sent our podcast to be reviewed by a podcast that was done out of Wichita, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So
those guys?
Yeah, those guys from Wichita, shout out to them because they were really cool.
Yeah, they were definitely cool.
But one of the the funniest things that stood out to me when they reviewed our podcast, because one of the things I like to do is make people aware that we're coming out of El Paso, right?
Yeah.
They're like, El Paso, like, where's that? Like, and then one of them's like, Waco, Texas. And they're like, oh, yeah, close enough.
Oh, no.
Close enough.
Hey.
Oh, no.
But to me, like, I'm like, it's not like you can get mad about it if you want, but like these guys live in the Midwest. They have no idea what El Paso's like.
Hey, but they said Waco. It's not that far. It's like, hey, they're close.
It's close enough. So that's why I was like,
I'll give it to him.
I'll give it to him, bro. Yeah, I went to Baylor right out of high school. You know? But I don't know. It was just cool. But yeah, I really, like you said, I really like the fact that you recognize that there is so much talent in El Paso, and we just need to get out there and be exposed. You know what I mean?
I think
we need to more than anything support each other, man. Because like me growing up, I'd hear something. If I found something new, if it was something local, it was just something like, it's not the real deal. Like if it came out of El Paso, then it gave me more reason to listen to it, you know. But now that we're doing this podcast, we've interviewed local rappers and stuff like that, and it shows there's a lot of good talent out there. You just got to give them a chance and support. Pretty much, support the local people, support this podcast, people.
But I think too, like where you associate, like maybe where we associate success in certain fields, like creativity, like okay, California, country, Nashville, like we assume that there's only these certain areas that have that creativity. And it's like you said, if we don't really think about El Paso, then people don't think we create. But it's like we're not even on the map. You know what I mean? There's very few places on the map that people go to for a certain experience or for a certain reason career-wise.
Yeah. I mean, and that sucks because we have so much. I mean, there's recording studios that people travel to in El Paso or like right on the outskirts of El Paso. And like huge artists go there to record. And no one knows about it. No one talks about it except for like that small pocket of maybe music people that maybe go there.
Yeah, that studio is called Sonic Ranch, right?
Sonic Ranch, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very, very popular studio, especially in the industry of music. So that's a good point by you for sure. So
it's like we don't educate ourselves on our own city. I know there's a lot of
exactly
that I didn't know, just like historically, not necessarily like creatively. That it's just every city has so much history behind it, and the creative aspect is in there too. We just gotta find it.
Yeah, I've always said I've always been a big history guy, especially when it came to El Paso history. And I've told Chris and Lena before we should totally have like maybe every high school or every school in our country should have a class where they teach the history of your own city, you know, just so people could learn, and it's going to motivate people to try and make it better or be part of that history or create history, or you know, because when you don't, there's a lot of people that have lived here all their life and have no idea what has happened here and how.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of really good history here, man. A lot.
There's probably a lot of people that assume like El Paso, Texas, and they look at where we're at on the map, or they learn about our border.
Mexico.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, there's no like, yeah, that it's like over generalizations, you know, because of the area, the Southwest and the border and everything. So it's like that kind of hinders on it too, because you have that kind. It's like, well, it's like you said, well, no one wants to think about El Paso versus Nashville or so on and so forth. Like you're going to take creative from a place like that over El Paso.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're about to hit the 36-minute mark here. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. And then when we come back for this, we're going to touch on a few different topics with Krysta here. We're going to talk a little bit about her favorite person, Mr. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We have a new presidential candidate that announced that he's running for office. So we'll talk to you about who that is. And then we'll also talk to Krysta about some of like the music she likes, anything like a nice concert she's gone to. So we'll talk to her about that. And then, as always, guys, we'll do the five random questions with Krysta. So we'll get into that on the second part of this podcast. So we're going to take a break here. Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast episode number 34, featuring friend of the podcast, Krysta Ayers. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. We'll take a break, and we will be right back.
Yeah.
Do this.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys. We are back with Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast, episode number 34, featuring friend of the podcast, Krysta Ayers. Make sure you guys go follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and a review, please. All that stuff really does help us. So, Krysta, thoughts on the podcast so far? How's it going? How you feeling it?
It's been great. We're having a blast over here.
Right?
You're not hot? Are you outside? I was thinking about that right now.
Yeah, it's a little humid. It's kind of hot, but it's fine.
It's hot everywhere.
We'll get this going, yeah.
So,
Swamp ass season, dude. Swamp ass season. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be 105 on Sunday. I'm like, fuck.
Dude, it's going to be at like 107 like all week next week or some shit. It's
Global
ridiculous.
warming.
So, okay.
2020 needs to chill out.
Yeah. I was just in El Paso a couple weeks ago. Actually, it's now been a month. What is time?
What is
What is that?
It was so hot, and I'm just not used to the dry heat anymore. So anytime I would walk outside, I felt like my whole body was just crinkled
like shrimp.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys know, the year is 2020, as Misa said. 2020 has been a bastard of a year, I'll tell you that much.
And it's only July.
But but you also know what 2020 is? An election year, of course it is.
Oh, great.
It fucking would be.
Great transition.
Hey, what happened in 2020?
This would happen. This election was meant to happen.
Yeah, like everything decided, hey, 2020, that's the year we're going.
Don't fuck
yeah,
it up.
like you clear the calendar.
Fuck this shit.
This black book 2020, everything you can think of, we're coming.
Okay, so with an election year comes possibly a new president. So, Krysta, give us a little bit. Yeah, give us a few thoughts on the upcoming election, if you will.
Oh gosh, where do I begin?
Yeah, that's a lot of question. Where do I start?
Yeah.
I talk about this all the time, and I'm sure Misa or anyone else that follows me on Instagram wants me to shut up already, but I'm not going to.
No, I mean, she makes good points. You know, like she makes good points that people don't really want to hear or like are willing to say out loud. You know, that don't want to face. You know, but
the
it's
truth
mostly Donald Trump.
But I think that's the problem is like sometimes we forget that the truth is really what's most important, because if it's going to be filtered or if it's going to be biased, then how are you really going to grow from it if it's already premeditated pretty much?
Yeah. I mean, I've just been trying to get people aware that, early voting is on July 15th. Please research all of the people that are on the ballot and within your district as well. Make sure that you're registered to vote, because on November 3rd, you can't register day of, It's just stuff like that I want to continue to have a conversation with people and put in the forefront of their minds, really, because this is a really big election, and because since 2016 life has been a shit show.
Amen. I mean, I admire anybody who's willing to research and continue to learn, because I feel like that's a big part of the problem is there's a lot of stuff to learn. There's a lot of stuff we got to educate ourselves on. So it's really cool that you're able to utilize your platform for that. You know what I mean? Like, that's admirable.
Thank you. I mean, I have a small platform. I don't have a ton following or anything, but people do see my shit, and people do look at people's stories and do read stuff some of the times. Yeah. So if I can use that little slide or that little post to say hey, this is what's going on right now, or this is what I learned, maybe you can learn something from that as well.
A ripple effect.
Yeah.
Nice. So go ahead, Misa.
No, I was gonna ask you what do you think are the possibilities of Donald Trump being reelected?
I mean, I think the possibility is still high. I think that people
still real.
Yeah. I don't think that people that going out to vote, especially in Midwestern states, are not going to vote for him. They're definitely still on board with him. And to dismiss him as being president again would be very naive.
Yeah, at this point it is.
Yeah.
We didn't make it into office.
Well,
so
I mean,
we have to learn from the first, and we have to see what's
I'll be the first one to tell you, I thought it was a fucking joke that he was running for president. And I totally dismissed the chance that he might fucking win.
I did too.
I
did too. I was like, there's no way.
And then now look where we are, fucking 2020 global pandemic.
Kanye West.
One of the most, we'll get into Kanye West right now. Way to ruin the way to ruin the surprise, Misa.
Right?
Dude, so
2020, man. Everything's ruined.
Like I was saying, I was incompetent enough to believe that he wouldn't win. I was proven wrong, and I still do not know if, even as bad as things are, if that's enough to keep people away from voting for him, because I feel like the supporters he does have are not going to waver in any way, because
it's like the nail is even more.
Well,
they're in it for life.
I just feel like it's something that they're always going to stick behind, because they have to at this point. They can't go back.
Yeah.
A lot of them aren't going to want to admit they were wrong. But anyway.
I mean, it's been 4 years, and there's barely Republicans now in office with him that are barely coming up and saying, no, we don't agree with this.
Yeah,
and they
barely.
don't even want him. That's the crazy part.
Exactly.
So if I told you that the presidential candidates for 2020 were Joe Biden, Mr. Donald Trump, and Kanye West, actually, evidently. And this just became. I think he announced this yesterday on 4th of July that he was running for office.
Hey, there's a third party, right? There's somebody else running as well, right? The Liberal Party. It's not just
there's a third party candidate. Yeah. Well, I mean, traditionally
he has to run as that, I think.
Yeah, no, he would have to, because
he has to run as an independent.
And I think even it's to the point where he entered into the race so late, he's not going to be on most ballots in most states.
Then what?
So then he's going to have to be a write-in vote, which, I mean, if third parties have no chance, what do you think of fucking write-in vote?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's okay, I saw someone post something. It was Crystal Poppin, as a matter of fact, that she felt like, or she had made a point that those votes can go towards Trump, that they're going to essentially split the votes, but that because of the Electoral College, it's going to happen the same way, that he's going to take the votes.
I don't know how that works exactly, but I have heard a lot of people say a vote for Kanye is a vote for Trump. And I see it in two ways of his politics are very much on brand with Trump's.
Yeah.
He's only worried about wealthy people and his own self. And then also, if you're not voting for the Democratic Party or for someone that can actually beat Trump, then you are essentially putting Trump in office in that regard.
Yeah,
That's why I'm voting. I'm going to write down Drake.
Oh my God. We don't need Drake as a president either.
We don't need Drake either. No,
Arnold Schwarzenegger would be a better candidate at this point.
No. We do not need fucking Hollywood meddling into our fucking politics. They do it enough already. People don't even know about
money
it.
Does. Yep.
One of the things that I think is interesting is how they have kind of fucking handcuffed us as a society in this election, specifically to where, you know, you're put in a bad position, like, because, you know, Joe Biden's not the cleanest, like, he doesn't have the cleanest slate on his end. Yeah. But you know, when you're weighing two evils, he seems like the lesser evil.
It's
in
another
a way.
Hillary.
You know
I'm sure he forgets that he's running for president at times.
Yeah, and then that's
I think so too.
Yeah, you see, that's the other thing is how, like, I don't understand how unfit the candidates are for this country at this point in time.
Like how
you know
it's
what I mean?
gotten to this point. That's the kind of like scary thing. Is it's like you wouldn't think in the year 2020 you would have somebody of this demeanor in office and then still in office after everything that's happened. You know, like it's just kind of crazy. But again, it's 2020. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. It's just crazy to me that like people are okay with his ignorance and his incompetence, and they don't want better. That like still is mind blowing to me.
Extremely mind blowing, dude.
Yeah, and like another thing that I like, and I haven't said this on the podcast yet, but I still fail to understand people of color who support this guy. Like to me, well, no, not just black people, any people of color, because in El Paso, there's still a lot of Hispanics that vote Trump. And to me, I do not understand how they do not understand the fact that he does not care about people of color. Like, doesn't matter what color you are. You're not white, not on his team. Essentially, that's how he treats people.
Yeah.
And
for Trump, it's that whole, if you're white, it's all right.
Everything else,
it really sucks because it's bringing to light the reality of like the people that run the country, the people that make policies and laws and do all of this stuff and create, you know, funding to everything that essentially runs the world is all predominantly white males. And it's like if you're gonna run a country, then it should be represented by the people within that country. And since what feels like the beginning of this country's setup, no, it hasn't happened. Like like how do we have over 40 presidents and Obama is our first black president? I don't know. I don't get how we cannot see the basics of like, okay, we need reconstruction. That's it. Like we're not saying everyone needs to leave the country. Like I think that's what sucks is it's like an either or. Either you're patriotic or you're not. Either you love America or you don't. Like what? That doesn't make sense. Like we're just trying to say like this shit.
Hey, big shout out to Obama. If he wants to be on this podcast, Obama, I know you're listening. Let us know, man.
We fed hard.
Krysta, I wanted to ask you real fast. So to me, I feel like this election is perfectly set up in a way to be manipulated, if you know what I mean.
Hey, PBS Frontline, Facebook, check it out.
So to me, like, do you see that as a real possibility as well?
Oh, absolutely. In the way that Trump was saying that we can't do mail-in voting, governor saying that masks won't be mandatory when you go to the polls. I mean, stuff like that. It's putting in fear to people that do or are very scared about the virus or COVID and wanting to maintain healthy. And also, like, everyone in office has voted through mail.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't educated on that or don't know about that.
It feels like suppression in, like, the most, like we're not going to tell you we're going to suppress the vote, but we're going to fucking suppress the shit out of it. Yeah.
And that's again what I think, like, it's like someone brought up another good point. Like, there's so many different ways of which our country could be better. And, like, people say, like, this is a small one. We'll make, cast your vote. And it's a perfect one. Not to say that it's not. And it is, start locally and then it's state and so on and so forth. But if we're going to have suppression of that, and we're going to have things like gerrymandering, and we're going to have like these things that are supposed to help set up a democracy, but they're not set up the way they're supposed to, and we're bad for wanting it better, like I don't get that concept. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, ignore it and don't create better, rather than say, okay, let's fix it.
And that's, and that's why I think it's so important for people to start researching now about their local elections and like who's voting for what and what their stances are, because it happens at a local level before anything else. Like, you need to be involved in that. But yeah, I mean, to that point, exactly. Like Kentucky just had their early voting, and the most Black populated county they had one polling station. Like, that is voter suppression at its finest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, Krysta, so we at the podcast, we don't have the biggest platform in the world, but we do have a platform, and we do recognize it as a platform. So if you have anything to say to any of our listeners, one quick important detail that you want them to know, what would that be?
I guess right now, to research who's on your ballot, make sure that you're registered to vote. You can easily check online. It takes 2 seconds. And then research who's on your ballot, who's in your district, what district you're even in to begin with. Yeah. And if you can register for mail-in vote, do that as well. But yeah, voting on November 3rd is extremely important right now.
Okay, so guys, make sure if you're out there and you're eligible to vote, please go vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Just go vote.
Kanye West.
Kanye 2020, Wiz Khalifa 2024. Anyways, so, hey, Wiz Khalifa would be my president, homie.
The only celebrity I would vote for is Beyonce.
Beyonce? Okay.
I would. Yeah. Straight up.
Like, she would have a good following.
She would.
I think. So let's speaking of Beyonce, let's take it down to a lighter note. We'll talk some music. Krysta, I do not know if you have Apple Podcast or Apple Music or Spotify.
I do.
But,
I got Apple.
Yeah, so tell us, if you had a playlist right now, what would be on it? What are you listening to? What are you jamming out to in the car?
Mac Miller.
I love
all
Mac
the time. All the time. Mac Miller is always on a playlist. I've been listening to a lot of Omar Apollo, Masego, Janae Aiko.
Yeah, she goes.
Jesse Reyes. Been really in like a hip hop mood, or not a hip hop, R&B kind of like soul.
Do you go through phases with your music?
I totally do. It's like I'm very mood based on it.
Same.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Misa, do you know Misa? Okay, so let me tell you something about Misa. I don't know if you know this, Krysta. Misa does not listen to any music that was recorded after 1965.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So
you're an oldies guy?
I'm in a real music type of guy.
Hey, it's all real music.
I know. Chris is just trying to start a fight.
No, I want people to know that Misa does not like modern music, and it's weird to me, and I'm uncomfortable with it.
Look, I do listen to modern music. It's just that I don't count. Okay, like one of my top bands right now that's not that started recording after 1965 is like the Black Keys. Okay.
Oh, they're really good.
It's like a blues kind of old school sound is what I'm.
Should have set up that joke better and been like, you know who's really new and like upcoming?
Frank Sinatra.
The Doors. Have you guys heard of those guys?
Amazing.
Oh, fucking Lisa. Okay, so yeah, like I feel like we vibe on the same music length. I like a lot of hip hop. I like a lot of country music. I like even I like pop music too. I have a pretty
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is one of my favorite artists. Like people hate me for that, but I'll fight you to the death.
I can't stand her.
Are you a country music fan?
No, not really.
Oh my God, you broke my heart.
I can do like some of the 90s country music and like
George Strait,
Garth Brooks kind of style.
I can do that, and then like Johnny Cash.
Okay.
True.
I know Johnny Cash.
I know that guy. Yeah.
I went to school with that dude.
Yeah, he's very modern.
Yeah, he's pretty modern.
He
came out with a new album.
Came out. Yeah, check him out. If you guys haven't heard of him,
greatest hit.
He's gonna be a legend. Johnny Cash. Go check him out. YouTube, Spotify.
We should try and get him on this podcast too.
Oh
I'll
my
reach
gosh.
out. I don't know how successful.
Shooter shot.
Okay, so obviously living there in Austin, I feel like you've been exposed to better musical concerts than being in El Paso, because a lot of people just dip out and they fucking don't even
Cancel.
stop in El Paso. Yeah.
Yeah, that really
Austin,
sucks.
yeah, Austin is a staple. If you're going on a tour and you're going through Texas, you're stopping in Austin. So,
Yeah.
have you seen any cool concerts down there?
Like your top 3.
Oof. Okay.
Wait, can you do a top 3 of Austin and then your top 3 fave total? Because you've been to a lot of shows, right?
Yeah. I can do that. Top 3 in Austin would be Rainbow Kitten Surprise. They're like an indie rock band. I don't know. If
I want to see it.
Write this
Yeah.
down, Misa.
I'm writing everything down, dude.
Who else?
Wait, can I play this on a vinyl?
Yeah, you can.
All right, for sure.
See your set.
They might even be hipster enough to have like the tapes.
Tapes.
Oh, those are pretty new to me.
Set player.
Tapes.
You would. Okay, so Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Let's see. James Blake.
Hey.
Saw him at. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember venues anymore.
See, all these names are just making me think like, hey, is this guy like a would he be good to vote for president?
Oh my god.
So I'm just gonna search him in that sense. It's like his
And then
political
write them in
views.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then probably the Kooks. Also just because they're nostalgic and I listened to them in high school.
The Cooks. See, I know the Cooks, dude.
Oh. Okay, so top 3 favorite of all time.
Childish Gambino.
Oh,
He did a Ferris concert for that Awaken My Love album when it first came out, or before it even dropped. And we had a camp out in California in Joshua Tree.
holy shit.
Okay, I'm sure there was some illicit drug activity going on as well, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you could be the fifth, but
Possibly.
you say the word Joshua Tree, and that's
Yeah,
Oh,
you had to like lock up your phones and everything though, so there was like no recording allowed inside. Like
That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Back
it
in
was
my
really
day.
cool. Back in my day,
That's how it was.
to do that.
okay. So you got Childish number 1.
Rainbow Kitten Surprise would still make that list as top 3, like overall.
So they hit both lists.
Yeah. Who else have I? I'm gonna say like maybe Shakira. I saw her
Shakira?
video.
Oh, wow.
Ah, that came out a little cool. I wasn't
I
expecting.
know Shakira.
She's
I
a
know her.
bitch. I love her.
Shakira.
Da, da, da.
I love her. She's so tiny too, but yeah, she puts on a really good show.
She knows.
Oh, yeah, I would,
she knows
without
how
a
to
doubt.
move for sure.
Yeah, I think there's
Them
certain
hips don't
artists
lie.
you know.
Yeah, and her hips don't lie for some reason. They're brutally
They
honest.
never
I don't know.
They never will. They write in cursive.
I gotta give
They're
myself.
very
Her hips don't lie.
They're brutally honest.
Okay, Krysta, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you who my favorite musician is.
Yes.
And then I want you to answer back with your famous musician of all time.
Okay.
So my famous musician / group of all time would be Blink-182.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting, right? I love those guys.
I didn't see that coming.
Yo, they changed my life, but that's for another podcast.
Did they make you be a rapper, Chris?
They made me think about being a rapper, but I wanted to be a pop punk band first. But that's where it all started. So anyway,
I could see you with spiked hair.
Krista, if you had a favorite musician of all time, who would that be? I don't even have hair right now.
I know.
I really am bald as shit right now. And she's like, I can see you with the mohawk.
What hair, dude? That's what I was thinking. What the hell?
Okay, Krista. So
No way!
oh, yeah, hit it.
No way, yeah. Hey, G.
Krista, favorite musician / band group.
Oh, minus the bear.
Minus the Bear. I love
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
I remember, I forget what the album's called, but it's the green cover.
Oh, Menocelo.
Yes, Menosal also. Yes, I was like, there's also in there something about a bear, and that's minus
Yeah.
Spanish. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Yeah, those guys were dope.
I know.
All right.
R.I.P.
So, guys, as we begin to wrap up the podcast here, we are going to do our segment called Our Funniest Things from the Internet today. Are you guys ready for that?
Sure.
Misa's shaking his head vigorously. No. Lena, are you ready?
Hold on.
I forgot to get ready during the break, by the way.
Jeez.
I'm being honest with you guys.
Okay, where did it go? No.
I'm going to find one, though. I got it. I'm going to my go-to meme page. You guys don't even know.
Joe memes?
Nope.
Cheater?
Nope.
Okay,
All right.
I'll go first because I'm ready.
Go.
So it's a picture of a pup. He's just chilling with his arm up, like so satisfied and content. And he's like, yeah, I'm into fitness, fitting this whole pizza in my mouth. And it's a picture of a pizza, and I love pizza, so.
You probably have like all the pizza memes.
I have a folder.
that are out there.
I just laughed so hard
She
because
puts them in their own file on her phone.
I saw this on Monday, and I haven't seen this one in so long.
All right, Misa, you ready for yours?
Yeah. This one kind of took me back when I was living with my mom and stuff, and it's a picture of Kermit the puppet, and he's like, there's one picture of him looking to his left and the other one looking to his right, and it says, "Mom, clean your room. We're having guests over for a barbecue." And then under Kermit, it says, "Me looking for the grill in my room."
yeah.
You know, that's what my mom would be like, "Hey, go clean your room. We're gonna have visitors." And I'm over here like, "Well, are they gonna hang out in my room?"
Yeah.
Who's
I
gonna
thought that
see
was
it?
pretty funny. Yeah.
All right, Krysta, do you have a funniest thing from the internet today?
I do. Yeah. Mine's a TikTok video that I found on like Twitter or something.
Nice.
Sorry. Can I stop you there? Misa has no idea what the fuck TikTok is.
Yeah, my daughter has mentioned it, but
He
I'm
thinks
like
it's
tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, he's
We
like,
don't have it
he's like,
downloaded.
is that some sort of new watch? A TikTok? What is that? What is that?
Hey,
I mean,
just to
now
let
you
you know,
just sound old.
she set all this up for me, man.
Okay.
She sets everything up for me, like my computer, my back screen, all this. So
Okay, so you were on TikTok.
No, Twitter.
I was on Twitter and I found it.
Okay.
Shout out Twitter.
Because I don't have TikTok either. But it's a couple. They're sitting on the couch watching TV, and it's the Golden Girls theme song coming on. And the guy starts singing along with it kind of casually, and then as it goes on, he just like belts it out and like does like a remix, like his own version of it, if you will. I love the Golden Girls, and so I just thought it was hilarious.
Fucking Golden Girls. My grandma used to watch that
I
shit.
love them. They're
Hey,
so
Hey, what?
sad.
I used to watch it.
It's like I still watch it.
Those one-liners, nobody can compete. I'm sorry.
So my funniest thing from the internet, guys, is a picture of about 6 empty beer glasses with the guy chugging down probably his 7th beer, right? And it says, "Alcoholic? No. Self-appointed booze quality control technician? Yes, sir." That's me right there. There you go. It's me every day of the week, baby. You already know.
For the love of Pete.
Okay, guys, so let's get ready to start wrapping up this podcast. One of the things we like to do with all our guests that we bring on is we like to hit them with 5 random questions and kind of get a feel for who they are as an individual. And today, Krysta, just so you know, we have a bonus question for you.
Oh, perfect.
So we have 6 questions. So question number 1, and this is a simple yes or no. Tattoos,
Okay.
yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
How many? I'm on 10.
I have 1, 2, 3. I have 5.
Nice. I have
I have
one.
one right here.
Oh, that one's cool.
Nice, there you go.
It's a Keith Haring one.
Wow,
I
tattoos.
travel. Yeah, I travel and I get a tattoo when I travel. So that's my
Oh.
deal.
Oh,
That's a good
shit, that's
tradition.
dope. That's
Chris, do you have any tattoos, Chris?
Nope, no tattoos, Misa. What about you?
No, and there's a reason, man. I've always liked tattoos, but then like I had heard somewhere it was like, dude, will you put a bumper sticker in a Lamborghini? And I was all like, yo.
Sure.
Yes.
I looked at myself as a Lamborghini after that, and then years went by, and my little brother had asked me because my older brother he's all full of tattoos. He looks like a criminal and shit. But he's like, hey, yo, Misa, why don't you have any tattoos, bro? And I'm like, and I told him the same thing. I was like, dude, would you put a bumper sticker in a Lamborghini? And he's all like, nah, but I put a badass paint job. And then after that,
Oh,
I changed my mind after that. So
fucked you up there.
I'm trying to grow these guns right here. And then maybe I'll put a tattoo on them.
All right, Krysta. So question number 2. If you were president-elect of the United States of America, what is the first issue that you are addressing?
Free tacos for everybody.
Free tacos. No, it would
So
probably
down.
be
You got
like
my vote.
immigration or global warming.
Okay, I would say global warming because I don't know.
We
if
had to
you've
fix
seen,
that first.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, like I said earlier, the weather forecast for El Paso. We're like 105, 107, 105, 107, 105, 107 for like the next 14 days. So
Oh, wow. That sounds awful.
yeah, and it's barely the 5th of July. So shout out to you guys for that. Thanks for everybody for populating the earth. I'm one of you guys too. So okay,
Shout
so
out us.
question number 3, we're gonna ask you this because recently we had our boy Fernando Cuevas on, and he's out in LA. And guess what's popular in LA? In-N-Out. So Krysta,
Oh.
are you a Whataburger or an In-N-Out fan?
She's gonna say In-N-Out, dude. I
Oh,
see it in her
I'm
face.
not. But I want to say that P. Terry's in Austin is so much better than the both of them.
Wait, hold on. Can you repeat that? What was that place?
P. Terry's.
P. Terry's.
P. Terry's?
Yeah.
I've never been there. So do I need to mark that on my calendar for when
Yes.
I'm in Austin? Okay.
P. Terry's. Never even heard of that.
Similar to a Whataburger / burger joint kind of thing?
Yeah, similar to like a In-N-Out more than a Whataburger.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I told you she's an In-N-Out fan, dude.
okay, so let's get back to the question because I feel like you dodged it on us. So
Yeah, she did.
In-N-Out
Okay,
or
I
Whataburger?
would choose Whataburger.
Yes.
Ah!
Hell yeah.
You should come back for a second
Yes.
episode.
Dude, I was about to say, just delete this whole episode, dude.
Real fast before we move on to the next question. This is a quick side question.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Torchy's tacos?
No.
Okay, remember we had a friend on, our other friend from Austin. He's affiliated with Torchy's in a way, but it was just funny. I just thought I would.
They have the best queso, but tacos.
Shout out,
Have you been to Juan in a Million?
I have not. No.
Okay, I've been there. I went there the last time I was in Austin. It was pretty cool. I'm just thinking of random places in Austin.
Yeah.
Are you hungry, Chris, or what?
It's
there.
7:30.
Next question.
It's about flying time. Okay, question 4. In your opinion, if you go to 6th Street, what is the wildest place to go to?
Ooh. I don't know.
The whole damn street, probably.
You could just stand outside. You can just go to Ripoli's Pizza and have a crazy night.
Even the pizza place gets lit.
Yeah.
You can go fucking there.
I don't even think you can go inside it. It's just like a counter space.
Yeah,
that
they
you
just like
walk up
serve it out
to.
the window. Yeah.
Just throwing pizzas out like frisbees and shit, or what?
Yeah, other than that, I don't really know of any bars. The bars that I used to go to, I just recently found out are run by like this racist, misogynistic guy, so I'm not even going to mention them.
Have you been supporting and funding his company this whole time?
When I was 19, I supported. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, nowadays everybody likes to go back and like find dirt on everybody. You know,
Yeah.
so
Well,
You should-
yeah.
you should have mentioned that.
So
Don't go to aquarium on Dirty Six. Don't go to aquarium.
36.
all right.
So-
So question number 5. What's your favorite holiday and why?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
I don't really celebrate a lot. Maybe Christmas now because we travel as a family.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big Thanksgiving guy, in case you can't tell.
See, I would be too, but like I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
They're all
Chris
good.
celebrates it every day. Look at his ass.
We're-
I kind of do too. It's just like a buffet of food, and that's
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
like
I'm there for that.
I am thankful on that day. Like I can't deny that I don't feel that way to be with loved ones and be with family. Like
Yeah.
that won't ever change. And what better way to like love on each other with food? Like
Food,
I love
exactly.
food. I love
Okay,
it.
so bonus question. This will be the last question we ask.
Okay.
At any given time, what is your phone battery life at? Because Lena is a 0% all day, every day. She's
He's
terrible.
throwing me under the bus. And I don't like no, but
Mine's in
that's
between
fast.
like 30 and like 40%.
Every time I'm like, "Can I use your phone?" It's a red bar. Like it's like, "Yeah, shit's about to die. Good luck."
Like, and this is the problem. Like I genuinely make I'm gonna charge it. I'm gonna do it now. I gotta put it on the charger, and then it just doesn't happen. And it's to the point now where, like, not only Chris talks shit to me, but my mom. And my mom's the one that gets me because she's like, if I need to get a hold of you, I can't. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm sorry.
I think your Christmas present should be a power bank, like a portable phone charger.
We have like 5 of those.
Oh, never mind.
Exactly.
I was
Trust me,
say,
I've thought through all the solutions here.
you win some, you lose
Just
some.
take that phone away, dude. Just take the phone away.
So, Krysta, what would be like if you looked at your phone at any given point? What would you battery life?
Mine's usually at like a 60%.
Nice.
I don't use it.
That's good.
That's what I feel. I feel like mine. I'm always hovering above 50 at least. You know?
Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah, I got one more extra question for you. I know that you read a lot. So
Yeah.
if you could give us one good book to read, which one would it be?
Fuck yeah.
Ooh,
Wait, I gotta write it down. Okay.
I like that question. The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson.
Devil in the White City.
It's got murder. It's got architecture.
Oh,
it's
no,
got history.
can't go there. I can't. I
Oh,
scare
no.
myself. I don't even
It's-
watch scary movies, girl. Like
I
I'm a
don't
chicken.
either. I am too. I'm a total chicken. I don't do scary movies, but it doesn't go into like a scary version of the murder. It's just it was around that period when this was happening.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it. Why not?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but you know, I'm sorry, Misa, but Misa still doesn't know how to read, so I don't know how good that book recommendation is going to be. It's going to fall.
Thank God for the audiobooks.
But thank God for
Shout out.
audiobooks.
It's a long
No,
one.
actually,
It's a long
I just
chapter book.
started. I should have started reading. I had seen that show 11/22/63 on Hulu. It's about like it's with James Franco, and it's this whole story of him finding like a time machine room, and he has to go back to the 1960s to try and prevent JFK's assassination.
Oh, that's
So
really cool.
I thought it was pretty cool, and somebody had told me that there was a book about it, so I looked it up and now I'm reading it, and
Is it good so far?
it's been like 6 months and I'm barely like on chapter 2 because like Chris said I don't read, can't read. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's actually really good.
You have
It's-
kids. They're getting in the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
on the kids just like we do with anything else.
She understands.
Nice, congratulations, guys.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So, anyways, guys, this is going to be it for episode 34 of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and give our final thoughts. Lena, final thoughts?
Ma, yeah. No, as always, thank you for spending your time with us. I'm always very grateful when anybody wants to share their space with us. I know we're not sharing the same space. Hopefully one day we can.
It's a virtual space.
But in general, just, sacrificing and dedicating and giving us your time, like 100% anybody who shares that with us, always thank you. So hope to have you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Misa, you want to go with your final thoughts here?
Yeah. I just want to say, Chris, it's nice seeing you. Next time somebody asks what happens, you just tell them you didn't call me back, and then that's it, because that's what happened. she said that I ghosted her before ghosting happened, and I thought about it. It's like, did I?
Did you leave a
Did
voicemail?
I?
You did. We didn't have voicemail.
Oh, that's
No,
right. It's that long.
It's like
Yeah.
just.
Or
But,
maybe somebody forgot to relay the call to her. I know that's happened before.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe my grandma actually didn't like you, and she was like, "I'm not gonna."
Hey,
Oh,
shit.
yeah. Shots fired, Misa.
Well, now I know. What's your grandma's name? Let me write it down. I'll look for her. My mom probably knows her, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, thank you. It was a good one. It's a good episode, Chris, Lena. It's always a good one. And Krysta, hopefully one time you could come in and do it again with us and hang out and actually drink some beer and have some real tacos from El Paso.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, yes.
Chico's tacos. No, I'm just kidding. Chico's tacos.
Okay, Chris. We'll let you have some final thoughts here before we close it out.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for thinking that I was even worth being on the podcast, and for letting me talk politics for a bit. That's always great.
Like I said, we open our platform to anybody and anyone that wants to dedicate some time to come on here and spend with us. So, like I said, thank you for being on the podcast with us, because you guys are the ones that really help drive this podcast and keep it going. So Shout out to you for that. We'll give you one more round of applause.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there's a half-hearted whistle attempt from Misa there. Thank you.
Yeah, I tried, but
Okay, guys. So this, like I said, this was episode number 34, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, like our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel. This episode is actually going to be featured on YouTube as well. So once this is out, you'll be able to see the whole thing and how it went down. Thank you guys for everybody who's been supporting us. Thank you for everything. Keep showing and sharing. Keep sharing and showing your friends.
And subscribing.
We couldn't do this without you guys. And we are